Dear faithful, today is the feast day of Saint Rose of Lima, and she lived in the late 1500s and early 1600s. Saint Rose is good saint to pray for those who sometimes suffer from loneliness or sadness, because even though she always was joyful and happy outside, she had her own periods of loneliness and sadness, as all of us occasionally do have. But that's what makes Catholic religion so beautiful and great. Even if we do need to suffer at least a little bit here on earth, we can have the great confidence to the great mercy and love of Jesus Christ, who has promised that this life here on earth, it's nothing but a preparation for an everlasting happiness. Saint Rose, who lived in South America, her real name was Isabel, but she was such a beautiful baby that she was called Rose by her family and friends, and that name remained with her for the rest of her life. And as she grew older, she became more and more beautiful. And one day, her mother put a wreath of flowers on her head to show off her beauty to the friends. But Saint Rose had no desire to be admired, because she had already decided that she would belong only to Jesus. So with this wreath of flowers, she put a long pin into it, and this pin pierced Saint Rose's head so deeply that she had a hard time getting the wreath off afterwards. Another time, she became afraid that her beauty might be a temptation to someone, since people could not take their eyes off her. Therefore, she rubbed her face with pepper until it was all red and blistered. Saint Rose worked hard to support her parents, who were very poor, and she always humbly obeyed them in everything, except in one case, when the parents tried to get her to marry. That she would not do. Her love to Jesus was so great that always when she talked about him, her face glowed and her eyes sparkled. Later on, as a religious, Saint Rose had many temptations, and also there were many times when she had to suffer a feeling of terrible loneliness and sadness. On those moments, God seemed so far away, but still she cheerfully offered all these troubles to him, her own dear Redeemer. In fact, in her last very long and painful sickness, this heroic girl used to pray, "O Lord, increase my sufferings, and with them increase your love in my heart." So there you have it, dear faithful, a simple and yet so beautiful example for us to follow, much more beautiful than what this girl was outwardly herself. Never seek appraisal from anyone, because you might get it, and that might be an occasion of temptation for you. And in this life, you oftentimes have to choose. You have to make a choice whether you serve God or whether you serve men. And always it's also a choice if you seek the approval of God or if you seek approval of men. If you gain the latter, you might not deserve the former. That's why trust to God, love Him who is your Redeemer. That is the most beautiful thing you can ever hope to achieve in this world, and the only thing more beautiful will be when you see Him in heaven. May God bless you in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Ghost.